Hi everybody and welcome to TNT for Tuesday, and thanks for joining us as we whip around some of Thailand's main news stories. Coming today from Coral Cottage, one of my beach houses. All right, let's start off with something I just saw when I woke up this morning. I'm not exactly sure if it's serious or not at the moment. Not a lot of news coming out, but this is reported by Associated Press. Strong magnitude 7.1 earthquake strikes remote Western China, according to state media. And it says that a magnitude 7.1 earthquake struck a remote part of China's western Xinjiang region early Tuesday, downing power lines, destroying at least 2 homes and prompting authorities to suspend trains, according to state media. So not really any more news other than that, so we'll just watch that story as the day progresses. Let's go to the Thai stories for the day. We start with this one. Immigration updates 90-day online reporting. So if you are a foreigner, you're going to have to do 90-day reporting if you've got a long-term visa. Well, most of us do anyway. That means you're going to have to front up to immigration and just do a 90-day report. It only takes 5 minutes. There has been an online version of that for around about 6 or 7 years. But I've tried it and never been able to get it work. Other people say they have no problems at all. But it looks like they're going to be making some changes to this 90-day reporting online. There are a few power fluctuations this morning. We've had a few brownouts. So we'll just plunge on. The story says the Immigration Bureau yesterday updated its online service for foreigners who need to report their presence in the kingdom every 90 days. Well, you have been able to do that online in the past, but as I said, the system hasn't been particularly reliable. And the Immigration Police Chief said the 90-day online notification service initially covers foreign investors who have received promotional privileges from the Board of Investment, and it would later be expanded to cover other kinds of visas. So it seems like initially it's only going to be available for foreign investors. Exactly when it's going to be coming online for other people doing their 90-day reporting, or if you can keep on doing your 90-day reporting online as you may have been doing in the past, that's not clear at the moment. And all foreigners staying in Thailand on various kinds of long-term visas are required to confirm their address with the Immigration Bureau every 90 days. An online system has been available for several years, but it was unreliable and most people continued to visit immigration offices in person. Well, ain't that true? It's just been unreliable. Over the years, people have said, I've had no problems at all. Other people saying, can't get it working. Well, I'm one of those people too. And the Bureau has responded by improving the system in hopes that more people will use online reporting, leading to fewer visits and less overcrowding at immigration offices. The Bureau has responded by improving the system in the hopes that more people will use online reporting, leading to fewer visits and less overcrowding at immigration offices. I think both the immigration officials and the foreigners will be happy with that one. And foreigners who need to make a 90-day report can register at this link. So I'll put a connection to this particular story at Bangkok Post in the description of this video, and then you can click and go and register if you feel inclined at that link to create an account by providing an email address. Registration should be done at least 15 days before the next 90-day reporting deadline. Once it has the applicant's details, the Bureau will email a password that can be used to log in each time one needs to make a 90-day report. So exactly when we can use this new system isn't quite clear. Now, it's inviting us to register at this link, but it was saying earlier in the story that it's only available for the high-end investors and those like smart visas. But, I suppose we'll all be clicking on the link and seeing what we can do. But hopefully sometime in the future, the near future even, we might be able to take advantage of this new 90-day online reporting. Tuesday's TNT coming to you from Coral Cottage. Let's check with Thai PBS World, a follow-up to a story from yesterday. Slightly gruesome story. ThaiPBSWorld.com saying Thai police to enlist Indian embassy to help in murder hunt. and Thai police will be contacting the Indian embassy in Bangkok to seek assistance in locating an Indian national suspected of involvement in the murder and dismemberment of a Myanmar man whose body parts were found in a freezer in the Bangkok district on Sunday. And police were alerted by a Myanmar national who reported that one of his friends, A.C. Chi, had gone missing. I checked on that pronunciation with a Burmese friend, and he led police to a 4-story building where police found a freezer on the 3rd floor containing 6 body parts of a man. And the freezer was set at 13 degrees Celsius. Not sure why that's relevant to the story. Hardly a freezer temperature, but anyway, they reported it. And his friend told the police that he, the victim, and 3 others from Myanmar were recruited to work in Bangkok by Sundar Raval Kumar, 23, whose office in Soi 44, and each of them paid 22,000 baht in procedural fees to Kumar to be able to work in Thailand. And the Burmese man said he spoke to the victim around 10:30 p.m. on that day and later video called Kumar, who appeared sweaty and hung up suddenly. After that, he couldn't contact either of them. As a result of this, he went to the building on Sunday and found it locked. He then asked the building owner to break the lock. He then discovered the body parts. But police at the Bangkok police station say that they're investigating whether the 5 Burmese individuals had entered Thailand legally. Is that the big issue in this story? A man's been murdered, but no, let's just check if the other 4 of them were entering Thailand legally or not. Anyway, that story reported by Thai PBS World. We go to nationthailand.com now, and new VAT refund limit and criteria for tourists announced. So they're making some changes to the VAT refund system. This means that when you go to the airport and you want to claim back your VAT, there's going to be new limits and new items that you can actually claim on. Let's find out. The Thai government has announced new regulations for VAT refunds for tourists. The new rules, which took effect on January the 1st, expand the eligibility criteria for refunds and increase the maximum refund amount. And the rules apply to the methods and conditions for requesting VAT and the VAT refund procedure for tourists shopping and taking goods outside of the country. And normally when tourists shop and purchase goods to take outside the country, along with requesting a VAT refund, they find themselves waiting in long queues and undergoing document inspections. But the Revenue Department has adjusted the criteria to align with the current situation. An increased purchase threshold for customs declaration, and the previous threshold of 5,000 baht for goods to be declared to customs has been raised to 20,000 baht. This means that tourists who purchased goods below 20,000 baht can request a VAT refund directly from the Revenue Department without having to go through customs procedures. And expanded categories and values for goods to be declared, and the number of categories of goods requiring declaration to the Revenue Department has been increased, now includes things like jewellery, gold ornaments, watches, eyeglasses, pens, smartphones, laptops or tablets, and bags, except travel bags, and belt buckles. And the value threshold's been adjusted to 40,000 baht for certain items and 100,000 baht for items that are going to be carried on board. And on it goes. So it looks like they've raised the threshold for items that you can claim the VAT on, and also adding more items onto the list that you can now claim those VATs back when you depart the country. Talking tourism on our Tuesday TNT, we go to the Bangkok Post. This article called "Joined at the Hip, Thailand's prospect for exports and tourism are very much tied to China's outlook." So in the past, Chinese tourists have been an important component of Thai tourism. Back in 2019, depending on which part of the country you were, it was up to between 20 and 25% of the total number of tourists. So that's why Thai tourism officials are so keen to get Chinese tourists to start returning. The article says the Thai tourism industry posted a disappointing result in terms of arrivals from China last year. recording only 3.5 million when they were expecting some 5 to 7 million. However, the government set an ambitious target of securing 8 million visitors from the mainland this year, banking on the visa-free policy, which is expected to be made permanent from March. Now, this visa-free, this is a visa waiver now for Chinese tourists, which brings them in line with 63 other countries in the world that already get visa-free travel in Thailand. The policy has been enacted since November last year, may have even been October, but so far the response has been relatively lacklustre. And after posting economic growth of 5.2% last year, which exceeded the state target of 5%, uncertainty persists regarding China's economy because foreign investment turned negative for the first time since 1998 in the third quarter last year. And in addition, a slump in the property sector is expected to take another 2 years to resolve. Well, that certainly is a big mess. It might take more than 2 years. China is Thailand's top trading partner and the second largest export market, representing 12% of Thailand's total export value. And when China's economy slows, it has significant implication for Thailand's exports. So both tourism and exports are both heavily reliant on China and the performance of China's economy. Between January and September 2023, China was the biggest investor in Thailand with 209 projects valued at 83 billion baht, followed by Singapore, Japan, the US and South Korea. And bookings from China for the Chinese New Year festivities have been robust, driven by the visa-free program. And average daily arrivals from China should increase to at least 20,000 during the holiday period. So Chinese New Year coming up soon, and they are expecting a large contingent of Chinese tourists to make their way to Thailand. It will actually be an important litmus test about how successful that visa waiver has been. If they can't increase the number of Chinese tourists, say, compared to last year, then serious questions will be asked about the future of high numbers of Chinese tourists coming to Thailand. And one trend involves the Chinese visiting provinces in Isan, that's northeastern Thailand, riding on the China-Lao high-speed train or driving cars from China into Thailand to explore the northern provinces. So if you do see a few left-hand drive cars up there in the north of Thailand, it's probably Chinese tourists. Let's go to our next story. NationThailand.com. 98 senators to demand answers from the government on issues like Thaksin and the digital wallet. So senators are making their way out of their cushy seats in the upper house to demand answers from the government. They want to have like a joint sitting and a debate to ask the government about particular issues. And a group of 98 senators invoked the Constitution Article 153 to file a motion to grill the government on several issues, from the digital wallet scheme to the alleged preferential treatment of XPM, Thaksin Shinawatra. And Article 153 grants authority to 1/3 or 84 senators to propose a motion down the end of that paragraph. Importantly, no voting is conducted at the end of the debate, and they apparently want to address 7 specific issues. The digital wallet scheme, promising a 10,000 baht handout to all Thais aged 16 and above, will be the highlight of the debate apparently, and Thaksin being given the right to receive treatment outside prison for more than 4 months. Remember, these senators are basically either army appointees or appointees from the previous Prayut government, and none of them have been elected, I should add, and they're not great friends of Thaksin Shinawatra or the Thai government. So I think there's a certain amount of political motivation in this particular inquiry. And we go to this last story now from the BBC. And family set up fundraiser to bring back man injured in Thailand. We could do a story like this at least once or twice a week. Let's find out a bit more. Adrian Wallace, 34, has been in a coma since being seriously injured in a motorcycle crash in Phuket, according to his mother. And Ms. Hopkins says her son's injuries include a broken leg, severe head injury, knee fracture, broken rib, broken arm, shattered pelvis, and a dislocated hip and facial trauma. And she said she's very anxious. I'm sure she is. Now, the reason I'm reading this is it's not the usual, oh, I didn't have insurance story. And I think it's something that we should all take into account. The family posted online that Adrian was travelling alone and we do not have any record of insurance for him. So this is the issue, the fact that they can't find out if he's actually got insurance or not. Since he's in a coma and has been since the crash, we've no way of assessing any information from him. That's a problem not only for the family, but of course for hospital staff as well. The family are hoping to fundraise enough money to pay for his medical bills and bring him home via medical repatriation when he's well enough to travel. And the family say they believe a car collided with the motorcycle Mr. Wallace was riding on January the 3rd. So what can you do as a solo traveller, for example, to make it more apparent that you do have health insurance? Now, I've always said for many years, I think you're crazy coming to Thailand if you don't have some sort of travel or health insurance. However, all that aside, this man obviously doesn't have any indication on him that he's got insurance. The family might be able to claim the hospital costs back in the future, but it really is up to you if you're travelling by yourself to make it a bit easier for the hospital staff to know if you do have insurance when you do travel. But we wish the family and that particular man the best in his recovery. And thanks for joining us on our TNT, coming to you from the Coral Cottage today. I hope the internet works and it's not suffering from the brownout we've got here at the moment. Have a great Tuesday, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.